Okay, looks like we are live. That's great. Okay. So I'm just going to record this and we can get started. Okay. So welcome everybody. My name is Gemma Fong and I'm the owner of Insight Creations and the new website platform Simplifying the Web, which is a website builder and funnel builder. We've been doing a series of 4 webinars this past couple weeks, and today is the 4th one. And we're going to cover marketing and promotion of your online presence. So this is a huge topic, and it's incredible how much information is out there, and it can be overwhelming. So what I'm hoping to do is just distill it down and make it easier for you to understand and enough for you to ask questions. So we're going to cover that. Now, I want to share my screen, so I'm going to do that now. And we're going to go over to here. So as you can see, this whole half is actually to do with marketing. And we discussed in the earlier weeks about these items that help you with the planning process of building a website and getting an online presence, along with some administration, planning, budget, and how to keep your site clean and secure. So now we're gonna head over to the marketing side of things and talk about what's important here. Now, there are 3 strategies for digital marketing that I'm going to cover. There's a lot more, but like I said, I'm gonna distill it down. So the first one is getting seen, becoming aware of who you are, like letting people know who you are while you're out there online. And one of the important things about the awareness and getting seen and visibility is that your branding is consistent throughout all of your media assets, whether it's your website, your blog, your social media, any business directories, community directories. All of these should have some similarity and consistency, so that, and your logo that clearly identifies who you are, and it just looks more professional. So some of the things that you can set up are what we call global settings for your typography, for example. So your font size, your font weight, your font style, along with you can set your color scheme. And I typically suggest 3 colors, possibly 4, with the 4th being your call to action color. That is for your buttons, for your links, perhaps your phone number, anything is going to take somebody from here to there. So that should be highly visible on your landing pages and on your website when you're talking about your products and services. The next thing is having a consistent tone of message, which can be drawn from your mission and your vision statement, and just, you know, ensuring that whatever you're writing for whatever asset or deployment that you're going to do, try to keep the same tone of message. You know, a few times you can go a little wild and you know, maybe humorous as well. But let's just say this is probably the best thing to do, is to just have that understanding of what your tone is. I mean, if it's if it's going to be casual, then make sure everything's casual. If it's going to be professional, then let it be professional. Okay. Now I wanted to try and do a vote with you. So I'm going to just check how I do that. And I think, there we go. So we're going to launch this poll. And I want to know, what do you find the most difficult to implement in website marketing? So there are a few, there's 4. One is keeping my website fresh with new content. 2, how to implement search engine optimization and know whether it's actually working. And 3, increase my visibility, which is what we just talked about. And 4, how to drive traffic to your website. So if you want to fill this out, then that'll be great. Otherwise, you can have a look at this on the replay. All right. So the top question that we see for marketing the website is, how do I get more traffic? That is the biggest, most common question that comes through to me. And it's an interesting question because the answer really is what we've been talking about for well over, well, I'm going into my 25th year, but at least for 10 years straight, we've been talking about the importance of content and good, fresh, new content. So the term about content is king, engagement is queen, whatever. The importance is making sure that you're putting new content on your website. So content, one of the things that that we try to do as well on the pages is to do the basic minimum of online search engine optimization. And that is to have a proper title and a description. The titles tend to, for the meta title is about safely about no more than 65 to 70 characters, including spaces, and description should be about 135. Now, why am I bringing this up and what is the importance of it? If you were to go to do a search, let's just say brown boots for winter. I should put women. Oops. Well, it still picked it up, but just want to show you. So this is the search results page. You notice how the images come up first, then the ads, and then the local stores, fronts, more images. And now I'm going to go to this. So this is the title, okay, women's snow winter boots. And this part is the description. So for each page of your content should have its own unique title and meta description, and try to keep within the guidelines that Google's looking for. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is what other things to consider when it comes to marketing. So about 55% of more visitors a website will get if they have a blog, an ongoing blog. So one of the features of the blog is to create evergreen content. What that means is it's a content that can be used over and over again. You may want to tweak it, but basically it's the same information. It's good, valuable information, but it doesn't change. There's no time limit to it. There's no, call to action for, say, an event. It's just strictly an article, a valuable piece of content that is useful for the visitor. Now, I don't know if you recall that back in the planning stage webinar, the first one, that one of the key things, and I told you this then, is understanding and knowing your audience and how it can impact everything else that you do from the start. So this is what I'm talking about, this whole marketing and promotion section. If you don't understand who your audience is, you can really screw this up. And how it reflects, how you know that it's not working for you is that you're not getting the conversions. Even though you may add all these wonderful media assets, if you're not targeting the right audience, if you're not answering their questions and giving them valuable information to better understand what the solution is and how they can get that solution through you, then the website's a miss. So, you've got to get that right from the very beginning. Let's look at some other marketing tools. One is digital advertising. So we have pay-per-click, we have display banners. These could be either on Google, Amazon, Etsy, anything really, wherever they have digital advertising. The pay-per-click is exactly what it says, that you pay only when somebody clicks on your link. But sometimes you get, I wouldn't say sometimes, you typically could get high failure rate because it's, on the onus of those who are clicking on the, and it could get very costly. So display banners is exactly what they are. It is a banner that you put on other websites that would be interested in your product or services. And usually there's an image and a tagline and a content piece that draws people to click on it so that they come to your website. Other assets that could be video. You could build up your video library in YouTube or in Vimeo, and then link it to either your articles in the blog or to your actual content pages. So video is very, very important now. And the other thing is the live streaming, which is what we're doing right now. And then you also, they always say the money's in the list. And that means that it's so important to draw people back to your website and sign up and become a subscriber of your email marketing, or just to even to receive maybe a free offer. You grab their email, your first name and the email address, then you know you're dealing with a potential client. If you only say, for example, put something up on Facebook with no call to action back to your site, you really have no idea who's interested in your stuff. And you don't really have an idea what their interests are. So always find ways to try and drive them back to your website and fill out a form so that you can collect their information for further and future marketing efforts. You can also, it's good because you can also personalize your content. So it's not just feeling like it's going out to the masses. You could say, hello, Patricia. And then you could even reference their website or reference whatever it is that, maybe their actual challenge that they're having. So that's one thing to consider. Okay, let's close up marketing and look at ongoing content updates. So people always ask me, well, I've got my services up, I got my about, I got my, you know, uh, maybe some portfolio, but what do you mean by putting or ongoing content updates? So these are just some suggestions you might want to consider if you're if you're an influencer or an industry leader or something like that. You might want to consider adding news to your content. And I say this lightly because a lot of times I see where people will just link to somebody else's news and that's it. It really doesn't help your clients or your potential clients. What one should or try to do is read that news and then maybe give a commentary about the news and make it so that it's guided towards the clients that you're trying to attract or support. And so don't just put a whole list of news links and it makes no sense to them. The other thing is you might want to offer templates or tools. We have a mortgage broker, for example, way back in the 1990s, we added a mortgage calculator for her. And so she was able to, get people to use this tool on her website. We also, I think, did the interest rate board so she could update it regularly so people could understand what the latest interest rate is. And then as far as templates, I've seen a lot of great social media templates people create and then resell. So, and then resources, books, articles, it really is just the world is your oyster when it comes to things. Just make sure that whatever ongoing content updates you're providing is going to provide value for your clients, potential clients, and you summarize or you personalize it so that it makes sense for you to be even posting it. Just gonna take a drink. All right, I'm going to talk about, and we're not going to go into great detail of SEO, but this is my favorite topic, and this is one of the areas that I specialize in, and SEO stands for search engine optimization. So search engine optimization consists of a lot of things. This is the basic. You would want to do keyword research. And when I say that, it's like what I just did here, where I just typed in brown boots for winter women, spelled better. And the other thing I might want to do is localize it even more, because I don't want to be traveling too far to try them on. And so I typically would just ignore the boots for ads, but then I would look down here and see, oh, okay, according to the map, according to where I live, there's a number of places I could go visit. Oh, maybe I like red boots instead. And so anyway, this is one way of checking out who your competitors are. And, if you had a boot store, like Walking on the Cloud is really just a small little store, but it's #1 in the organic search results. So this is amazing for them. What we do in search engine optimization is try to discover which keyword phrases are best to use. Each page should have its own unique keyword phrase, and I call that the primary or the focused keyword. And then I would look at long tail keywords which is a phrase, maybe 3 to 5 words, that helps provide the relevancy to the overall purpose and discussion of that page. So let's go back to the brown boots, and I'm just going to say about women. And I'm going to do a search. Now, this is a free tool called Uber Suggest. It's by Neil Patel. And so I'm just looking down here. He says is a pretty easy word to or phrase to optimize for. But there's no data here, which is unfortunate, because what I was hoping for was to get some related keywords, and yet he doesn't have any. That's kind of strange. There are other websites. I use SEMrush, but it is a paid service. You can have the different plans, and you can have a look to see their keyword research and their related. So if I were to do keyword overview, it's a little slow right now because I got too many resources going. Brown boots. Just search. What's going on? Not too much information about brown boots. Okay, so here there's some keyword variations. Brown boots. Oh, even these guys don't have much information. Perhaps it's because I localized it. Maybe if I just put brown boots, I'll get more information because it's a broader keyword. So here we go. We got 2.9K volume. Here are some of the variations. Here are some of the questions that people are asking concerning brown boots, and these are related. So when I look at all this, I pick out, usually the keyword density is low, the volume is high, and the competitor difficulty is low. And so, and the CPC, which is the cost per click, I like to see it higher than the other keyword phrase, which shows me that if I were to try and buy it or sell it, that keyword, then I know that it's valuable if it has a higher. So search engine optimization is a combination of artistry, creativity, in the writing, in the trying to ensure that you're getting the keywords in the right places. It's technical in the sense that when you're doing your research, you're looking at a variety of different data points to try and estimate which is the best keywords or best related keywords to use. And there's an algorithm that Google is looking for that is even outside of all this, but is pertinent to search engine optimization. And so, yeah, it's great if it's done well, and it sucks if you do it poorly. So I always, I love to talk to people about it. A lot of people do find it a bit overwhelming, and it is, and it can be. But I actually enjoy doing this kind of work. And so if you have any questions or you need to get some SEO work done, please feel free to contact me, and we can set up an appointment, and we can work on your website. So I was talking about, let's go back to my, so we talked about keyword research, competitor research. Then what also we will do is look to see how many people are linking to your site, coming back into your site. So it's not links going out, it's links coming in. And the importance of this, first of all, they have to be high quality links. You don't want, and they have to be relevant. You don't want irrelevant links, and which can be toxic, and you and can downgrade your backlink values or points. So you have to keep an eye on your backlinks. And you can also get some people, hire people to go through possible backlinks, or you create relationships with other website owners that are allies or collaborators, or if you're an influencer, you may have all your various people you're influencing linking back into you. Local Google business profile used to be called Google My Business or Google Maps. This is something that if you're a storefront or if you provide service in a local area, it's worthwhile working on your profile page and making sure that it's all filled out. Again, this is something we help our clients with. And then, you know, if you're doing national on-page optimization, again, following all the guidelines that Google's asking for is the best thing to do. And, you know, getting the backlinks and trying to keep your site optimized. And hopefully, as time goes on, you should see an upward incline. You'll see more keywords that are being indexed. You'll be seeing more pages that are being indexed for you, and you start getting more visibility, driving more traffic to your website. But this SEO is a slow process, but if done correctly, can be long lasting. I've had, for example, well, again, I think it was early 2000, maybe 2003. I helped a reflexologist school in Toronto get #1, and they've been still #1, and even was beating out the association website. And she was just a, you know, a solopreneur, and I shouldn't say just, she is a solopreneur and doing amazing work, and people are finding her. And that's it. That's what you want. So, you know, SEO is important, and it's not going away. You hear lots of things about it, but it all ties in with that whole importance about content, providing good, valuable content. Okay, my last area that I'm going to cover is CRO, which stands for conversion rate optimization. And most of you are going, oh my God, more. It's true. Now, this I kind of say is for the advanced level of people wanting to create funnels. And I've created, or I've written down here the 3 main funnel types that, or objectives that I've worked with people in creating, and creating a successful conversion rate from it. So here you're looking at, you know, creating a funnel that has its own landing page with a form, a free offer, which draws the people in, and then they sign up their name and email, and then they've now converted into a name on your list. You can tag it, you can landing page, you can make as little as 1 screen to as long as 4 or 5 screens. That goes into a lot more depth of the information to support whatever it is that you're trying to offer. We also have sales funnels, which are great because you're actually drilling the audience right down into the product or service, and they're not seeing anything else on your website. They just saw what they like. They go to the form and they see the sales purchase process. You put the credit card in, or pay by PayPal, or Stripe, and then you've got a sale. So again, another conversion, quick conversion, highly recommended when you're trying to especially offload some product that may be been sitting on your store shelves for too long. The event the event funnels, same thing. You'd have a landing page with your event details, locations, speakers. If you have guest speakers, you have the CTA sign up form. And if you need, you could have a ticket purchase. So you set that up as well as a ticket sale. And again, you have your conversion, you have the list of all your, and I would tag all these things. So maybe one tag would be event and maybe the name of the event. And if you do lots of events, tag different names, so that when you go to your master list of your contacts, you can group them and then send out personalized emails according to the tags. So I think I've come to the end. This was a little longer, but I'm really glad that you guys stuck it out there with me. Please remember that I am available for consultation, 20 minutes. Anytime after that, I do charge an hourly rate. I have half-day rates and full-day rates as well, if you need actual work being done. And I welcome you to, continue participating in the group. I want the group to be more community oriented. I would love it if you could introduce yourselves in a post and talk about your website. And you'll be surprised that, I'm not the only expert in here. There's so many experts or many people who have experienced doing some of this stuff. And, they may want to, it's good if you share it, or if you have a problem, a challenge with something. All of that is wonderful. So try that. And please, let's get this community going. Next week on Wednesday at 2, I will be doing a Q&A. So if you haven't seen all the videos, you can skim through them. I'll write up a transcript summary so that you can just, skim over what we talked about. And if you have any questions, please come on the 27th, I believe, the Wednesday, and we'll do the Q&A and deep dive into any of the topics that I covered. All right, take care. Thank you. I appreciate you all here, and we'll see you next week.